Radio Live. Your news, your views with Aroha Hathaway.
Good evening, it's 7 o'clock. 2 trampers rescued after a freezing night stuck in the Nelson Lakes National Park were woefully underprepared for the climb. The Irish woman and Latvian man, both in their 20s, set out yesterday without ice axes, crampons or rope. They called for help after falling from a track. Helicopter pilot Daryl Sherwin reached the pair earlier this afternoon.
They'd read in The Lonely Planet that it was like just a 6-hour stroll up to the hut, and that's the way they went. And luckily, they've been lucky to get away with it.
Both trampers were treated for mild hypothermia and are now recounting their ordeal to police. Finland's Prime Minister set the bar high as part of a growing movement of families opening their homes to refugees. Migrants are fleeing the conflict in the Middle East in record numbers, with the crisis pressure piling on governments and individuals to provide what aid they can. It spurred Juha Sipilä to offer his own home to asylum seekers.
My family has decided that our own home is open for refugees and asylum seekers because we don't need it for the time being, and from the beginning of next year we can give it to this use, and I know that many others have made a similar decision.
A New Zealand Facebook page encouraging people to share their homes with refugees has more than 2,500 members. Fire investigators are confident they know how an arsonist went about torching a Waikato primary school. The early morning blaze destroyed an office block and a classroom at Glen Massey School near Daruawahia. Waikato Fire Safety Officer Kevin Holmes has completed a sweep of the scene.
There's been a number of exhibits that have been removed by the police for further forensic analysis.
Police are hopeful those responsible were caught on the school's security cameras. And Thailand's junta-appointed reform councils rejected a new constitution aimed at steering the country out of political turmoil. Critics had pilloried the document as divisive, anti-democratic and aimed at prolonging military rule. But its rejection at a vote by the council means the painstaking process of drafting a charter will now start again. It's 7:04.
Radio Live Sport.
A poor showing for counties Manukau in their 36-27 defeat at the hands of Bay of Plenty in their ITM Cup encounter in Pukekohe today. Radio Live's Jordan McLean reports.
The Steamers got off to a flyer and it ended up setting them up for the whole game. Fullback Chase Tiatia scored in just the second minute before Sean Uru crossed down shortly after. Counties failed to fire in the opening 40 and trailed 27-5 at the break. The Steelers scored first in the second spell though through Richard Judd, and then they managed to score 2 more tries, but it was too little too late. The damage had already been done. It's Bay of Plenty's 3rd win of the season, while Counties slumped to their 4th loss on the trot. In Pukekohe, Jordan McLean, Radio Live Sport.
Earlier today, Taranaki defeated Northland 57 in Whangarei. Mahi Drysdale will be hoping to add to New Zealand rowing's medal haul on finals night tonight of the World Champs in France. And Lewis Hamilton's continued his rich reign of form in Formula One, qualifying fastest for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. It's 7:05.
It's Sunday Social, an hour dedicated to social media with Vaughan Davis.
And welcome to Sunday Social. It is most definitely spring. You can take what your equinoxes are telling you and stick it in their gnomons. You can Google that one if you like. The lambs are arriving, the sap is rising, and the daffodils are bursting out all over this fine land. And I know that for a fact because I've been sitting on my big fat bum on the couch looking at it on Instagram. #spring. Later in the show, we're very lucky to have Fresh from the South Island Powder, PR maven, author, and former magazine editor Hazel Phillips with some very interesting insights into the future of those magazines and, of course, the apps and news you just know you will not get through your week without, most of which, to be honest, tonight have a frankly less than serious bent to them. It must be all that rising sap. Hey, the other thing that happens in spring, certainly here in Auckland, is the Auckland Home Show. And you lucky listeners, are right in the firing line of a very high probability of winning a double pass to the Auckland Home Show. Runs from Wednesday to Sunday. I would like to give 2 double passes away, and I'll explain why in a minute. But all you have to do to be in the draw to win those, and I'm going to mail them out tonight, is text me 3920 keyword live and just say something nice. Tell me I'm a good guy. Tweet me at Vaughan Davis. And while you're doing that, watch along on YouTube. We've all combed our hair, brushed our teeth, and got our nicest duds on because we're on youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV. Hey, we've got a great show for you tonight. You're going to love it. First, though, as I mentioned, the Auckland Home Show kicks off this week, and while once it was where you'd go to see the latest stupidly named paint colours or get a good deal on a parapool, now that's not so stupid, these days it's as much about the technology, from eye-wateringly expensive appliances to solar panels, even ones from my friends Vector with those fancy Tesla batteries. The Home Show and homes are becoming smarter than ever. One of the key exhibitors at that show in the space is a company called Fibaro. Or is it Fibaro?
It's Fibaro.
It's Fibaro. And tonight we're joined by its business development director, Johnny Corrie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What exactly is, and you must be expecting this question, what is a smart home?
A smart home is a intelligent environment that will speak to itself. So when you talk about home automation, the key word is automation. So we're looking at things that will interact and respond to each other rather than just the sensor for the light switch. We're talking about alarm systems talking to garage doors, weather stations talking to irrigation systems, and it's about central control. So a smart home is smarter than the others because it has more information available to it. So that's what we try to create.
So paint me a picture here. I mean, I come home to my normal dumb home, and there's the scratch of a dog on the other side of the door, and if I want the light switch to come on, I like a schmuck, I have to push the switch with my finger. Talk me through my arrival home to my smart home, my future Fibaro smart home.
Yeah, one of the key things with obviously the technology, the smartphones, and the use of location-based services is that a smart home, before you even get home, knows that you're there. Right, so it tracks your arrival. It can see you coming from a distance. It can use the basic things that you already have as part of your app-based smartphone, and take that and combine it with a number of other conditions or variables and determine how
to do stuff. So to back stuff up a little bit, if you've got a smartphone, your smartphone always knows where you are. Unless you've told it not to, it's also telling the provider, Apple or Google, where you are as well. And your smart home technology is also being given permission by the user to know where you are too. So if I'm 3 blocks away from my house, what's going to happen?
So it'll take when you're looking on Google Maps, for example, and you can see where you are with that little blue dot. The home, because it's connected to the internet via one of our devices, we could set up a location around that area and create a trigger for once you arrive within that circle. So if we're talking 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, you determine what that is, because obviously some people might live close to a highway, quite often drive past.
For sure, yeah.
And not be going home.
You don't want the lights coming on and the mood music, the Barry White starting up when you're really just going past at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Okay, well, mind you, actually, that sort of raises an interesting question. You know, if you were having an affair with the neighbour, now this is just popped into my head, Johnny. Your wife could be sitting at home, and suddenly the lights would change and the music would go on, but it's not you coming home; it's you going to see the neighbour. Had you thought about that? Had you thought that one through?
I think you can always blame technology to have a few glitches.
You can blame technology.
So you could always go down that path.
You need an Ashley Madison location-based Fabaro mashup. That's all in the future, right?
We haven't written the driver for that yet, but I'm sure there'll be something in the pipeline.
So let's talk through this scenario of the home knows you're coming, which is, oh God, it's a little bit creepy. The home knows you're on your way. What sort of things might your home do?
From a security perspective, a popular one is that depending on the time of day, and we're not talking about a timer, we know the exact point of sunrise and sunset every day, based on that internet connectivity.
Yes.
If you're arriving within a time period close to that, you can have the outside lights turn on prior to arriving. So you never come home to a dark house. The temperature location, based on either a free internet feed or an actual device at your home, could turn on the heating based on the fact that it is below that temperature that you desire. So it's about control. We give you an app. But what we really try to create is intelligence. So an automatic home shouldn't require any input from the homeowner. We want a number of things to happen on their own. So automation.
So it's controlling your lights. It's controlling your heater, perhaps. Talk us through some of the other functions in your house that might get smart.
Anything that is powered, we can provide some level of control. So if it's your alarm system, your automatic door lock, your garage door, lighting, of course, heating. It can stream video cameras similar to this one here. It can take your security devices, so your alarm sensors, for example, and then turn them into lighting control devices. So it becomes about our system in particular, taking what you already have in your home and automating it. So our system can be retrofitted into any existing house.
Yeah, because that's a really interesting point. Because when I think of smart homes, I think back. I don't know. I think of some rich bastard with their multi-million-dollar clifftop mansion.
Absolutely.
That got someone in and spent another $100,000, and there's a room full of servers and lots of wires going everywhere, and it's all built in and very, very expensive. This is not exactly drop in, but it's relatively simply installed.
That's right. Yeah. Obviously, technology and hardware gets smaller and smaller as time goes on. So we can take a device and literally install it in behind your light switch. Then this device will wirelessly speak. And I'm talking about a control system.
You've got a control system about the size of it. So it's like a little baby iPad, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that sits on your internet router, your Vodafone or your telecom, whatever you've got. And that allows you to access the home from anywhere in the world. So you can log in through the app. If you're not on your Wi-Fi network at home, it'll automatically connect through the server, so you can remotely access anything.
That's kind of cool. So if you leave a door open and a burglar strolls in, you can lock that shit down, and he's going nowhere. And you just watch him on that network of video cameras going hopelessly from room to room as the air runs out. Is that your vision?
Yeah, it is. As far as setting up your irrigation systems to point in a certain direction and get them wet, you can do whatever you like.
That's crazy. The information. So you get pretty quickly, and I'm not one of these people, but for a lot of people, you go pretty quickly from smart to creepy, right?
Yeah.
All the stuff, your locks, your lights, your heating, maybe a security camera, all the stuff is working via the internet, and I guess it's not going as we think. It's not going directly from these sensors in my home to my phone. It's going via some other place, isn't it?
That's right. There's a hosted server.
Yeah, there's a hosted server, and there's some computer in some room in some country we're not really sure of. How do we decide whether or not to trust these services as a consumer?
The consumer obviously has the facilities around them to deal with secure websites. So you may have spoken to your listeners before about that little padlock that appears in the browser bar. So we obviously have one of those. There's a certificate of trust that comes with that. And obviously it's a global company that has to guarantee that privacy. So the product's available in 94 countries now around the world. And obviously they come under fire. People try to hack things all the time. And we've passed all those tests.
Because it could be quite good fun hacking a home. I mean, there was a story just weeks ago where a couple of guys hacked I think it was a Chrysler, and gained remote access to the is a Chrysler Jeep, the remote access to the vehicle's computer and shut it down. And I'd quite like, just in a mischievous way, if Hazel here has got a smart home, I'd quite like to turn her lights on at 2:00 in the morning and wait until I detected motion, and then turn them off. Turn them on, motion, turn them off, turn them on, motion. You can see where this is going.
Yeah, and it got put under the test because there are some very capable people out on the internet, and they always have access to these sorts of things, and they do try to do it. And we even had a couple of customers that are quite high-level technology experts at Telecom. They have the system in their house, and they definitely tried to break it.
And they haven't managed so far. Hey, I'm talking to Johnny Corrie from Fabaro Home Automation Company. They're going to be displaying at the Auckland Home Show this week and weekend. And remember, if you would like to be in the draw to win a couple of double passes or a double pass per prize winner, all you got to do is text me 3920, and I've got a couple of people already flattering me on the text, or tweet me at Vaughan Davis. Back real soon.
Your Nights with Karen Hay.
Per blow, the guy's going to be serving you'll probably be about a year and a half per blow. Doesn't it just make you mad that this guy's sort of just, serving a year and a half per blow? It pisses you off, really.
Goal trauma. Wow, that's a good term.
Yeah, it is. It stops you from ever stepping up and trusting in others, and it kind of sets you back and think, I'm not going to do that again.
My position, I guess, on this is, aren't we meant to try and rehabilitate people? And let's give him a chance behind bars to see if he actually does wise up to his actions and to take ownership.
Listen, learn, share. Your Nights from 8 p.m. with Karen Hay on Radio Live. An hour dedicated to social media with Vaughan Davis.
And welcome back to Sunday Social. As I mentioned before the break, we're giving away tickets to the Auckland Home Show, probably worth hundreds of dollars, I should think. I haven't Googled it yet, but certainly worth something. If you would like to go in that draw, I'm going to be posting them out tonight. Text me 3920 keyword live, or tweet me at Vaughan Davis. I think I'll favour the tweeters, or maybe I won't. I just don't know what's fair. Hey, the reason we're giving those away is because one of the exhibitors at the Auckland Home Show is home automation specialist Febaro. Johnny Corey rejoins me. Hi.
Hi.
The way that you turn a dumb old home, a dumb old, $2 million Ponsonby villa, into a smart home is not by digging the whole damn thing up and rewiring it. It's by putting a bunch of interesting little gadgets around the house that sort of connect your boring old appliances to the internet. And you've got a few of them with you here. If you're watching on youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV, you can see them. But we're just going to describe them to you and tell you about the sort of kit that turns your house into a smart one. So what do you got there?
Okay, cool. Our most popular product by far is a lighting dimmer. So dimming your lights from your phone is quite an improvement.
It's very James Bond,
well,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you do it. You say, hey, babe, I'm going to dim the lights, and I'm not even going to stand up.
Yeah, from a customer experience point of view, I think it's the one that gives the most satisfaction because they can control it and activate it and do it.
I don't think this is the kind of satisfaction that Mick Jagger sang about in 1969, just quietly. I can't get no dimming my lights without standing up.
It would have been a great song.
Okay, so it's a light dimmer.
It's a light dimmer, and it's about the size of a matchbox. If you're not watching,
if you remember those,
and it literally gets wired in behind your existing light switch, and it speaks wirelessly to the controller, and that gives you the feedback on the app, so you can see when your lights are on or off. And I'm
just going to point out that there are other ways to see whether your lights are on or off.
Yeah, not when you're not at home though.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So,
true.
So we put these around the house, and the more you have, the stronger the wireless signal is. So, as you said, typically automation was about ripping down your walls, rewiring your house.
And so these all network together. So you're sitting there with your iPhone or your Android or your iPad or whatever, and you open your Febaro app and you go, I'll have some lights. Oh, choir of angels. What else have you got?
So we've got this device here is another very popular one. Again, no wires required, battery powered.
It's like a little shiny golf ball.
It's the size of a golf ball, yeah. It has a lens on the front of it, so it's like a motion sensor as you know it, but also measures the available light level in the room and the temperature. So paired with one of those dimmers, for example, when you walk past it, staircase or hallway, sort of often traveled, never occupied, it will turn the lights on for you, but only if it's dark enough. So there are real energy savings involved. More importantly, when you haven't walked past for a few minutes, it will turn the lights off for you. So that is automation.
That is kind of cool. The energy saving side of it, is that a big deal? Because you mentioned lighting, you mentioned heating, and both of those use a lot of electricity.
Sure.
Is energy saving a big reason to smarten up your house?
I don't, in my opinion, probably not. I don't think there are real...
Because the money you're putting into it and the return is just not gonna,
there are real energy savings, but again, we're talking about people that are building new homes. I don't think energy is overly expensive comparatively to other parts of the world. And in Europe, where there's a lot of heating wasted on heating homes with their water systems and things like that, absolutely, very important.
Here in New Zealand, where we only turn on the 1 bar heater, if the budgie's already dead,
that's right.
It doesn't make much difference, I guess. What else have you got in your little box of tricks?
So the dimmer, similar size to that, we have a device that will do any electrical application. So on, off, up, down. If it's a gate, a light switch, an alarm system, we can control it. So it's just about programming that particular device to do what it's meant to, depending on what it's attached to. So there's a product for every application. There's a little remote control that will talk to your heat pump. There are door locks that speak the same language. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool because I mean you've been able to remotely unlock your car for decades, but to be able to do that with your house is kind of interesting. You mentioned before that you've got customers who work at telcos. You know, a couple of people who work at Spark. Are they the kind of people that are currently buying this? Is it just the freaks and geeks?
They were the early adopters. So we've been on the market for 3 years now, which is a very young business. And the early adopters are the people that find these products themselves. They're great for us because they pick at it, they find holes in it, and they help you out with that. But the importance of a show like the Auckland Home Show is that it exposes people to a product where they may have had that stereotypical view of home automation, where it was elitist, it was $200,000 to install your house, and we had to have access to ripping down the walls. Back then it was as two dumb homes better than one smart one, because it cost you the same as another house to get it done. We need to expose the people to the access to the product, give them examples of what it can cost to do things like that, and we encourage people to bring plans with them, because we can very quickly identify what they can achieve. Now, being a scalable and modular system where it's a controller and a number of different modules, you can start with a very basic system and then add to it at any point in time. So it's about flexibility, it's about giving them control, and then them having the ability to re-engage with us when they want to add to it later. So,
okay. Well, you very smartly, if I may use the word, set the bar at $200,000, thereby making whatever the answer to this next question is appear really, really cheap. But how much does it actually cost, and how long does it take?
Okay, so in my opinion, to get any real value out of that controller purchase, which is the device you have to have, you need to spend about $2,000. And that includes installation.
That's not the end of the world. Not for a Radio Live host. I could afford that on tonight's pay alone.
And we'd be done in half a day.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
Not so bad. So you're obviously a fan of the system. Maybe you are, mate. Maybe this is the only job you could get. I don't know. But of all the things that it can do, and all the things that if you stretch the capability of this Fibaro home automation system, what's the one that lights your candle the most? In fact, you probably have a device that lights candles. I don't know.
I really like the GPS tracking thing. I really like the intelligence around not having to get my phone out. And sometimes these automation systems, when they're handed over to an app, it can take you longer to do something on the app than it would.
You could just get off the couch, walk over, and undim the lights.
Yeah, something as simple as setting your alarm to shut the house down. That's a perfect example, because to get my phone out and put in my PIN code, I've already done more than if I just put my PIN code in the alarm.
Yeah,
right. So
absolutely.
we try to push the automation side, like the real convenience and the system being capable to its potential. So the GPS tracking thing is great, because if I come home after sunset, the lights turn on before I get there.
Which is kind of cool, because if you're a big scaredy, because you are a scaredy, I can tell by the way. Johnny, you don't want to come home to a dark house because there might be boogeymen.
Oh, it's just nice to come home to a well-lit area.
I suppose.
And that one-touch control, a simple single button to turn off everything in the house.
Yep.
When you go to bed, a single goodnight scene just really takes.
Well, the other thing you could do is just be more socially adept. Then you'd have a partner, and he or she may well be home with the lights on already. I'm just putting it out there. Hey, looking to the future, what do you see coming down the track in terms of the capability of either this system, the Fibaro system, or the category in general? It is taking off. You've got lots of suppliers. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different brands of the stuff in my home, and already it's exploding. What do you see coming down the pipe?
The most important thing is the interoperability. So the ability for multiple manufacturers' devices to all speak to each other, no matter where they're made, under what platform and under what standard, because it is about integration. So the devices that are coming out obviously are getting smarter and smarter, but their ability to communicate with each other, regardless of where they're manufactured, is the next big thing.
What happens if the jolly internet goes down? Because that happens now and then. Am I reverting to manual?
With our system? No.
Yeah.
So because it's wired into your existing system, your switches will still control the devices that we put in. So the only thing you lose with the loss of an internet connection is the remote access. As soon as you get back home, the apps still work because your router's still talking to your phone, just no internet connection.
Easy as that. Hey, you're at the Auckland Home Show. What can people expect when they come along and visit your stand?
The importance of the home show is to explain exactly what I've just been speaking about, but in an interactive way. So they can come and grab an iPad and interact with all of these devices in a stand where they can see how they talk to each other. They can play with the audio systems, the lighting, motorized curtains and blinds, and they can meet some of the people that would be installing the system for them if they went down that path. So it's important that we introduce the consumer to those people as well.
Fantastic. Hey, Johnny Corrie from Fabaro, thank you so much for joining me tonight on Sunday Social.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you if you have entered the draw to win that those 2 pairs of tickets to the Auckland Home Show. You can go and see Johnny and say, hey, I heard you on the radio. Look at you, you radio star, Johnny. The winners, I'm going to send those out tonight. They are Ed. Thank you so much, Ed. And who's the other one? Stuart. Ed and Stuart. All about the boys tonight. Hey, that whole interview, if you want to listen back, is at radiolive.co.nz under shows and Sunday Social, and that'll be up there in the next half hour. After the break, live and direct from the beautiful, beautiful powder of the South Island, our resident ski and media expert, Hazel Phillips. Back soon.
The hit of the scrum. The pace on the wing. The glory of a win.
And the All Blacks are the world champions for the second time.
The devastation of defeat. The Rugby World Cup 2015 is coming. Radio Live has your official coverage. Every high analysed. Every low scrutinised. The experts, the moments. The Rugby World Cup 2015. With your official Rugby World Cup 2015 station. Radio Live. It's Sunday Social. Everything you need to know about social media with Vaughan Davis.
And welcome back to Sunday Social. Thanks, my first half guest, Johnny from Fabaro. And well done, those listeners who won those home show passes. Hey, Hazel Phillips, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well. It's a bit drab here compared to the to the virgin powder, the virgin untouched powder of the South Island.
Maybe a little bit, but the fun had to end at some point.
The fun really did have to end. Your knees can only take so much pummeling.
Pretty much, and I took out a snowboarder on my last run as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you?
I apologised 3 times. Once as I was actually crashing into him, and then twice afterwards.
They're not proper scares. Hey, but you've found some time. You've found some time in your busy sporting life to troll the internet for the stuff worth knowing about, and you've found a rather interesting app.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
Do you recognise that song?
You have a song for everything, don't you, Vaughan?
Do you know that song?
No, I don't.
That's a great song. That song is by a German, what would you call them, techno art band from the 1980s called Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk.
They're
You have to
absolutely
have
brilliant.
the R's.
Yeah, they're very much sort of a lot of similarities to Devo in many, not musically, but sort of stylistically similar to Devo. Anyway, you've found a calculator app. Oh God, I'm bored already.
It's not really. It's called Private Photo Calculator with a % symbol at the end.
Oh, I see. It's a private photo calculator.
Private photos, Vaughan. So
Tell me more.
all the kids are using this so they can hide their photo collections from their parents. Or, if you just had, I guess, salacious photos and you didn't want people to see them if they were using your phone. So it looks, when you look at the app button, it looks like a calculator, and it even works like a calculator. But if you put in the secret code, the calculator interface peels back, and there are all the photos.
That is the best app ever. I'm getting it.
That's what I thought.
But I've got no
Yes.
photos of anything salacious.
Oh, you'll have
Does it
to-
come? Does it come with a
No,
starter pack?
I
A
don't think
starter
it
pack
does.
of good salacious. I don't know what's salacious.
Strictly DIY
Dirty.
only. Dirty.
Dirty.
Salacious is just a better way.
A better word for dirty. No, I think dirty is the best possible way to say dirty. So the full name of the app again?
Private Photo Calculator, and then it's got the % symbol at the end.
Right. And is it iPhone only or iPhone and Android or?
Oh, I think it's both.
It's both.
But I'm not totally sure.
So private photo calculator, and so when your 15-year-old shows mum the camera, the phone, says, look, I've got nothing on here, but there's a bit of Angry Birds, there's Instagram, and there's calculator. It just says calculator, I presume.
Look, Mum, no hands. I think it says calculator. Or, surely it won't say private photo calculator.
No, because
right?
that
I think it says calculator with the % symbol at the end. It's a long way of saying this.
So that's the. So
You
if
know
you're
what I
a
mean?
parent, or you're an auntie or a grandparent, maybe you're a grandfather. You've got the kids around for Father's Day. Say, hey, I need to do some calculations. Has anyone got a calculator app on their phone? And if you find a little percentage sign at the end of the calculator app, the dirty little buggers, just like you were when you were their age. Well done. I have an app. I have an app that does something similar, but I have no dirty photos. We've already established that. It's called Overswipe. Have you heard of this app? It's
No, I
very,
haven't.
very handy. So Overswipe is the name of the app. It's for iPhone and for Android. And the problem it solves is, I want to show you 5 photos. I want to show you, 2 airplanes and 3 goats, basically.
Yep.
I hand my phone over to you at some crowded bar, and I don't want you to look through the photos, but I don't want you to scroll back any further through my photos.
Because I might find the salacious
You might
ones.
find the salacious ones. So this app called Overswipe, what it does, you open the app, it shows you your entire photo roll. I go, have that, and that, and then I hand you the phone, and all you can see is those 5 photos.
And you can't navigate out of the app and then say log into someone's Facebook and post a status update for them?
Well, you can in the free version, but for $2 you can't. You have to put in the PIN number to get out of the app. That's kind of a handy app. Oversight. But I'll tell you though, and I have been taking every opportunity God sends to push this one. The very best photo app on any device, anywhere in the entire history of humankind is Google Photos. Do you have it?
No.
Yeah.
You told me about it and I downloaded it. And
And
I
then what-
tried, Vaughan. I tried.
what
It just,
happened?
I don't know. It just didn't do anything.
Give it time. Give it time.
Clearly it needed to sync. or
So
something.
here is what Google Photos does. Well, I'll explain the problem it solves. So the Google Photos app on your iPhone or Android device, it solves this problem. Here I am. I'm in a bar. I meet Hazel or Hazel's equivalent and say, hey, I've got goats. And she says, really? Really? You've got goats? I'm intrigued. do you happen to have a photo of your goat? I go, yes, I have. And then while I'm spending the next 3 minutes on my phone trying to find a photo of a goat, Hazel, or Hazel's equivalent, is talking to some other guy. Death. I have to get a home automation system now because there's no one waiting for me at home to turn my lights on.
I demand instant goats.
Well, I've got an app for you. So Google Photos, what it does is you open the app and you go, I want photos of goats. So you type in goat and it looks through all your photos and through its clever Google machine learning works out which ones are goats and, 10th of a second later shows you all the goat photos and it does it really, really, really well.
So what if I type in Vaughan? Is it going to show me photos of you, Vaughan?
If you are in America, it will. So associating people with photographs is US only, but at the moment it'll find goats, it'll find coffee, it'll find sunsets, it'll find daisies, it'll find whatever you like. And the reason it hadn't found it for you, so we're talking about the app Google Photos, if you just tuned into this very, very long rant about this wonderful app, is that the way it does it is it stores a carbon copy, if you like, of all your photos in a Google server somewhere in Botswana and goes through and learns what they all are. And that's how. And once it's done it just incrementally updates it after that. So it takes
persistence.
Honestly, it could take 4, 5, 6 days to do that. But once it's done it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's called Google Photos.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of photos, because we are broadcasting from Auckland, what do we always talk about in Auckland?
Property prices.
Property prices. Yay!
Yay! Property.
I've made more money from my house increasing in value while I've been sitting here on the radio than even the astronomical amount of money they pay me at Radio Live.
Yay us, Vaughan.
I know. Yay us. Well, there is now an even better way to get better returns from your Auckland property or indeed your property anywhere in the country, and that is through virtual furniture. Do you love this?
Virtual furniture. Isn't that nice?
It is kind of
nice. It's not even real furniture.
Because time was, if you wanted one of those Eames chairs, I don't know what one is really. You had to buy an Eames chair, and then out came the knockoff Eames chair, which was still quite expensive. And then you could rent an Eames chair. Well, now if you want your living room to look all fancy pants for the person looking at your house on Trade Me, you don't need the real chair. You don't need the knockoff chair. You don't need to rent a chair. They just drop one in bloody Photoshop.
Excellent.
Do you think? I think
that's the ultimate in efficiency, isn't it?
I think is marvelously efficient. It's called Property Picks. The business is called Property Picks, and this has become a plug. But $120, and they'll put in virtual furniture in 3 rooms. And I was looking at the home staging companies. These are the ones who put real furniture in your room. They'll charge $2,000.
Yeah, heaps cheaper.
$2,000.
What I did actually when I bought my place about a year or so ago, I
top of the market. You bought at the top of the market, Hazel.
I saved all the photos off Trade Me of my beautifully staged apartment. So I've got them all sitting there on the computer. So if I go to sell it, I can just use those photos.
And you can wind back the clock, get rid of all those stains on the carpet. And woo,
something like that.
It's like using your 21-year-old photo on Facebook. It really is. Interesting little sideline to the story, and I will admit I read this, and the Herald broke this story, and they broke it rather well. I was reading the story, and it said that not only will they do the big things like beds and couches and tables and things, they'll put an opened, trendy cookbook on the kitchen bench, or a Dick Frizzell painting on the wall.
Isn't that lovely? I think that's quite cultured, isn't it?
It's quite
supporting
cultured,
Kiwi culture.
But is it supporting it,
well,
or is it
just
stealing
promoting it?
So
it's not stealing it, because can you steal something that doesn't exist? That copy does not actually exist.
I don't know. I spoke to Dick Frizzell about it this afternoon because I thought, well, go to the source, and he didn't care. He's richer than God. He goes, oh no, the Lamborghini's got a flat tire, so he presses print, and out comes, he can print those Mickey Mouse Tiki Tumeki things faster than the Reserve Bank governor can print money.
Go Dick.
I want to be Dick Frizzell.
Isn't this a little bit like that ad at the beginning of the movie that says you wouldn't steal a handbag? Well, I wouldn't steal a handbag, but if I could create one in Photoshop.
Would I digitally stage a Dick Frizzell painting into my room? Hey, the last thing I want to talk about, I warned listeners that this would be silly. This is the silly night. This is probably the best website I've ever seen in my entire life. It's from Hiroshima. Now, Hiroshima needed this because, let's face it, the obvious brand associations for Hiroshima are not overwhelmingly positive, are they?
No.
Not really, especially in August. August is gone now, it's September. Go to Hiroshima And you've got two choices. You can either walk around on your two legs like a schmuck, or you can get down on all fours and experience it at cat level. Well, there's a website designed solely to replicate the experience of mooching around Hiroshima as a cat. All you got to do is Google Hiroshima Cat Street View, and that's pretty much what you get. You mooch around Hiroshima, and it's quite trendy. The shopping areas are pretty cool. They're pretty cool. And you meet the local cats. You talk to it's all in Japanese.
Yeah.
It may well just be, it's probably salacious for all I know.
It probably is extremely salacious.
It's the screen the screen grabs you probably want to put in behind that fake calculator thing. Anyway, Hiroshima Cat Street View, best thing on the internet. We've got more things on the internet and more things you might want to put on your smartphone right after the break.
The best of TV3 news and current affairs is also on Radio Live. Weeknights at 6, the simulcast of the award-winning 3 News. Weeknights at 7, All News Story with Duncan Garner and Heather Duplessis-Allen. Saturday night at 7, The Best of the Nation. And Sunday night at 6:30, Investigative Journalism with 3D. TV3 and Radio Live. Your news, your views. It's Sunday Social with Vaughan Davis.
And welcome back to Sunday Social. I can't hardly believe we're in the last 10 minutes of the show. Hope your Father's Day is going just tickety-boo out there. And I know if you just won our home show draw, it will be going extra tickety and double boo. Hey, Hazel, you used to be a magazine editor When I Knew You,
Yes,
when
I
I
did.
Knew You is one of those.
Yes.
They've gone all digital, and they've gone all weirdly digital in a quite wonderful way for the reader.
Yes.
We'll get to how that works for the publisher a bit later on, but you've kind of unlocked how anyone can get all the free magazines they want forever.
Yes, this is fantastic. So I love magazines, but I'm not so willing to spend huge amounts of money buying lots and lots of magazines.
I can't believe you, hypocrite.
I know, what a hypocrite. But there are some that I, of course, will pay for, especially magazines like North and South when they have murder features, because I really like those. little confession there. Anyway, I digress. You can now get magazines free through Auckland Library. Probably other libraries around the country too, but I'm just going to talk about Auckland Library in this case. So you download the Auckland Library app. And then you need to have a PIN and a library card number for that one. Then it's a bit convoluted to set up. Then you download another app called Overdrive, which is linked to Auckland Libraries, and you kind of download the Auckland Library through that, as it were. And then you have Zinio for libraries. And once you're all set up and you've got your separate logins for all of these, you can go back to the Auckland Library one, and you can go into download magazines or ebooks, but magazines I'm most excited about. And you can go right through and you can just download as many of these free magazines as you like. As far as I can tell, I've downloaded tons of them. And then you hop back to Zinio for libraries and it pulls in the magazine and you sit there with your magazine just going crazy. Fantastic.
So unless you actually wanted some hunk of newsprint or glossy paper that someone else has already put their sticky fingers on to turn the pages.
A Radio Works news pre-feed in 30 seconds from now.
There's really no need to go to the magazine shop, is there?
I suppose not. But print is lovely, isn't it? I like print. I like touching the magazines.
Yeah, but I like touching a new magazine. I suppose if you
not a dirty old
you
one.
compare it to the $20 item in the shop, that is what it is, and it sits around on your coffee table and says, "Look at me, I bought this magazine.
Yes,
this is who I am." But if you're comparing it to getting one from the library, you'd get the electric one every time.
Yeah, well, the ones, the actual physical, tangible ones at the library tend to feel a little bit dirty, don't they? Not salacious dirty.
No,
but
not salacious dirty.
like hand sanitizer dirty.
So one of the reasons, and this, I promise you, is the best segue you're going to get tonight. One of the reasons they are probably a little bit dirty is because people have been reading those magazines
No, Vaughan.
on
No.
the toilet.
Oh, you had to go there.
Not what, but we all have to go there. We all have to go there.
We talked about poo last time I was on the show with
That's
you.
just a complete coincidence. So one of the reasons magazines, secondhand magazines are not as good as new magazines is because people do read them on the toilet. And, a man, you said that's dirty. A woman, you said that's multitasking. So there's a gender divide going on here.
Okay.
Possibly.
Maybe.
But now we've got an app. We've got an app that means you don't have to read that library magazine on the toilet. Networking. Are you intrigued? Do you want it? Have you got it? Have you tried it? Do you like it?
I do not have it. I have not tried it. And
This
I do not think that you should be using your phone on the toilet.
This is a bit like green eggs and ham, isn't it? Could you on the pooper?
I don't even know how to answer all of those, but no, I think just no.
Well, I'm going to tell you about the app. The app is called Pooductive because it makes your poos more productive. It's called Pooductive. Interestingly, $100 together to make this app. So
What does that tell you, Vaughan?
So they self-funded it. It's called Pooductive, and the makers say this. They say, think of it as a magical place, this network, where people from around the globe can anonymously meet to enjoy their time of zen, peace, and tranquility together by conversing, philosophizing, and sharing ideas with each other, which is kind of cool. So I tried it earlier on today, but I cheated. I did it at my desk and ended up with a conversation with this guy who claimed to be called Eduardo, but then in the light of the Ashley Madison thing, he could have been anything. It could have been me. I could have been conversing with just an algorithmic version of me. The name of it is Pooductive. Give it a go.
Sounds a bit crap.
It does. It really does. But I'm not saying, did I say it's my app of the month? I didn't. No, I think we can say that your magazine thing is the app of the month. Hey, you say you don't use your phone wallet.
I think that's a hygiene issue. Partly it's a hygiene issue. If you're going to wash your hands, are you going to wash your phone? Can you wash your phone? You can't.
You probably can't.
So I think that's a bit grubby.
Well, statistics say that you're a weirdo because 61% of people who own a phone use it on the toilet. Almost 2/3 use it on the toilet. And that's borne out by people on the other end of the phone. 44% have heard the toilet flush at the other end of a call, which was sort of damning, really. It's that, we talk about the high definition of 4G phone calls. The problem is people can hear where you are. 49% of people read text messages on the phone, on the toilet, which seems like a good thing to do. This one's huge. Of those who use their phone while in the small room, and remember that's almost 2/3, 92% of social media users will check Facebook.
What about people?
Facebook.
Ooh. What about people using their phone at the lights? Or,
Twitter on the shit.
All that. Oh God, Vaughan. How many more have you got?
I got none.
No?
I'm all out.
You're all
I'm
out.
gone.
You're
You've
empty.
given I gave you my number one and my number two.
Oh no, that was the third one.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yes. So the name of the app, once more, is Productive. We recommend it to absolutely no one. Hey, one thing I do really recommend, and we probably should end the show on this, because this would be if Jay's got any attention at all to give to us, we probably should end the show on this. This is a site I recommend to anyone who needs a bit of Zen in their lives. I'm just going to let the audio come through for a minute. There it is. Are you feeling calmer already?
I am.
Now, listeners might think that what we've done here is brought with us into the studio a cat.
Do you think it sounds like a cat?
It's the theatre of the mind. It sounds like a large cat. Jay's going to make it smaller. Oh, there's a smaller cat now. It's a smaller cat.
Oh, now it sounds like a cat.
Now it sounds like a cat. Now it sounds like a tiger. Now it sounds like a tiger. So what you're listening to is a website called Cat Per Generator, PURR, Cat Per Generator. And the whole point of this, in the words of the site creators, is it's the cat's purr without the fleas and the cat hair. And it's actually quite calming. You can imagine putting this cat purr generator on your phone, putting your headphones in. It's a bit loud and creepy at the moment, but putting your headphones in and just sitting there reading a book, watching the TV, waiting for the partner you don't have to come home because you've had to have the home automation to turn your lights on, looping it all back to the beginning. And this cat purr thing, I mean, scientifically, cat purrs have been shown to lower the heart rate, to aid digestion, to stimulate alpha waves in the brain, and just make you all over happier. Have they not?
Did you make that bit up, Vaughan?
I'm ad-libbing.
I think you made that up.
Yeah, but this is a good
I think
site.
this sounds like a helicopter. It sounds like a helicopter going over Otara.
Let's just let it play. Oh, Jay! Oh no, Jay's just going crazy on it.
That's a helicopter over Otara.
No, take my word for it. Cat Per Generator. It's a real website. It's also available as an app that has a whole bunch of other sort of ambient, soothing sounds. That is absolutely, with no reservations, my site of the week. Will you buy it?
No. I want the real cat. No, not really.
Would you listen? Would you listen? Okay, here you go. I'll pull it back here. If you had some headphones and you just happened to be using it and you had to go to the bathroom, would you keep it on while you're in the bathroom?
My mind is so twisted right now, Vaughan. But should we say who the home show winners are?
Oh my gosh, I already did. They're already in the out trade.
I just want to make you panic.
So thank you very much if you entered in the home show draw. The winners of the double passes to the home show, which starts on Wednesday, goes right through to Sunday here in Auckland, are Ed and Stuart. And your tickets, your envelopes are very much in the out tray as we speak. Hey, thank you so much for joining me tonight on Sunday Social. I'm Vaughan Davis. With me tonight, Hazel Phillips in the first half from Fabaro, Johnny Corey. It has been real. Next up, Weekend Variety Wireless. Love you long time. See you soon.